My name's Dean, let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is July 31st, 2026. And this is the customary weekend outlook episode that I publish on Fridays or Saturday mornings about what I see on the markets, and what I'm expecting to, what I'm expecting in terms of price action throughout the weekend. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin, we're going to talk about altcoins, and specifically why you should be paying attention, very close attention, to altcoin price action this weekend. All right, if that all sounds interesting to you, then watch till the very end. Hope everyone's having a great day. Let's start with Bitcoin as per usual on the 4-hourly time frame. So we've been saying that Bitcoin is or has been at a technical level of resistance, while altcoins are in the opposite position. Generally speaking, they're more at a technical level of support. We're going to look at altcoins in just a second, but what is this technical level of resistance that we talk about for Bitcoin? It's really simple, right? It's essentially all of the price action since early July, the first week of July, until present day. It's pretty much an entire month. People say, oh, July was so bullish, and historically, right, I've talked about my view on seasonality in cryptocurrency. I'm not going to get too much into that, but a lot of people are in or of the belief that, July is bullish in crypto, especially if you have a bearish June, and then once July ends, you should expect bearishness. That's extremely dangerous. We're going to see why. Other than the first week of July, you didn't really get much bullishness in Bitcoin. The first week of July provided this bounce, but ever since, we were pretty much getting a rounded topping pattern, right, for Bitcoin. 25 plus days of Bitcoin doing this and forming what we know to be a rounded top, which is typically representative, suggestive of a local market top. Also, you can say that you have a head and shoulders bearish reversal pattern that you formed, and if you look at it more granularly in terms of Elliott wave analysis, you can see 1, 2, 3 pairs of AB basing. Okay, if you don't really see what those pairs are, I wouldn't blame you if you're not used to reading corrective price action. It looks a mess, and it's not super easy to discern, but the more you look at these things, you can suss out 1, 2, 3 clear pairs of corrective patterns, and on that third touch, you got a rejection, which I believe will continue to our key level of support at $60,000. It's very important. So there's bearishness. It's quite clear. I said before, it's not that big of a, a lot of people love to say, a lot of other analysts love to say, it's impossible to know. Nobody knows what's going to happen. That's not true. That's not true. With a high degree of probability, it's possible to see or to suggest or say that the market is likely to do X, Y, or Z. That's the whole point of technical analysis. If it were impossible and it was just a crapshoot, then we're wasting our time. Absolutely, it's an absolute waste of time. Might as well just close your eyes and just gamble on at whatever price, right? But no, we see these patterns time and time again. They're quite reliable. You see a rounded top pattern that's usually suggestive of a top. You see it in the opposite direction, like we're going to see in altcoins, typically suggestive of a bottom. And those typically break down or break out, and then these typically break down. All right, so no surprise that you're getting the breakdown. We talked about this rising wedge and how you were breaking down from the top of the wedge. You retested the midline of the channel, and then the bottom of the channel, and now you're breaking down from the channel. So all that stuff, none of it is a surprise. If you've been watching this channel, I've been saying, hey, Bitcoin's looking bearish. I'm looking for support next at around 60,000, but until then, I'm bearish on Bitcoin. But at 60,000, I'm extremely bullish on Bitcoin. Lots of other analysts are talking about, levels at 40 to 50,000 that they're seeing in their heat maps, or, just on a higher time frame. But be extremely careful fading Bitcoin around $60,000. $60,000 is an extremely important level of demand for Bitcoin. And at that level, you should expect big moves to the upside. We've talked about it. So that, that's pretty much what I'm seeing with Bitcoin. I'm seeing now, at the time of recording, it's about 2:30 p.m. It's about 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours left in the traditional market trading day. Wouldn't be surprised if we continue to get a move down into the weekday, the close of the daily close, and then around the daily close, after the daily close, we start to get some bounces, and the weekend either looks like a small consolidation at support, or the beginnings of a bounce up and out of this region. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing with Bitcoin going into the weekend. But yes, do expect a continuation of this downside price action to our level of 60K. Now, it's extremely important to note, while Bitcoin has been bearish and, putting out pretty much a sideways chop rounding pattern, a bearish reversal pattern at its highs for the past 25 days, what have altcoins been doing? And to answer that, first, I want you to think in terms of the altcoins that you've been looking at. If you've been looking at any altcoins, what have they been doing for the past 25 days? Have they been dumping? Have they looked toppy? Right? Maybe some do, but most probably don't. Right? How do we know that? How is that something that we can say with a high degree of probability? Well, look at the others chart. This is a good indicator for what altcoins are doing generally in the cryptocurrency space. So all others, again, is just all the altcoins minus the top 10 in market cap, averaged down, normalized into one chart. And let's go on the 4-hourly time frame, compare apples to apples. So the past 25 days, pretty much all of July, you've been coming down to this level. So what Bitcoin is likely to do, you've spent all of July pretty much doing. So when I say altcoins are front running the market, this is what it means. You're pretty much, Bitcoin's targeting support around 60. Altcoins were targeting support around this level, but have already reached it. And so once they reached it, they started consolidating. We are currently in this consolidation and have been in this consolidation at local market bottoms for the past 3.5 days. Okay, so we're gonna zoom into that in just a second, but I just want to zoom out and show why this is a legitimate local market bottom on the higher time frame for altcoins. Because look, you have, again, rounded bottoms, which are suggestive of local market bottoms. Here you had a rounded top that you broke down from, right? Rounded bottom on a higher time frame, and you can also look at it as a bullish reversal pattern or inverse head and shoulders. So you're currently in the right shoulder there. You have yet to break out, but the breakout is imminent only because you're at the final stage before you get the initial breakout of this bullish reversal pattern. So smaller time frame, hourly time frame, you can see that you have a series of tests of this pattern, right? You have a series of tests that are again on a smaller time frame, forming a rounded bottom, and it's just very strong reactions showing that there's something of a demand level here. Okay, this is how you would say, okay, there is an imminent breakout in altcoins happening. And yes, this is an aggregate indicator, so it's not perfectly reflective of all the altcoins, but what you should be seeing in some altcoins is them breaking out already, or having broken out already, right? So if you look up and down your watch list, this goes back to what I was saying. Yes, there are certain altcoins that have been coming down most of July and forming, bottoms past 3.5 days, 4 days. But then there are also quite a number of altcoins that have already started breaking out and have broken out. And I mean, you can see that clearly if you just do a market scan, right? It's not a massive amount of breakouts, but you do have some altcoins that are already breaking out of these levels. Okay, you can look at the top 100, top 100 to 200. You start to see modest moves. But what's important is that despite Bitcoin retracing, coming down, you don't have a wholesale dump in altcoins. Actually, altcoins vis-a-vis Bitcoin are holding up quite well, as we can see on the Bitcoin dominance chart. The Bitcoin dominance chart is showing that despite Bitcoin dumping, despite Bitcoin not pumping up, giving you green candles, sorry, I'm going to pull it up, you're getting altcoins moving regardless, and sometimes in the complete opposite direction. There's one of the assets, one of the altcoins that I'm trading with my clients in crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation is literally going in the opposite direction, as if it doesn't really care that Bitcoin is headed down. It's just literally going in the opposite direction as we speak. Okay, and it's probably not going to correct until it puts in a good 60% to the upside. So here you can see Bitcoin dominance is coming down. When you see this, when people talk about alt season, it's just a word, but technically speaking, what does alt season mean? Alt season means a trend of a downtrend of this indicator. This is the de facto, the most important, the most conclusive indicator of alt season. Why? Because quite literally, it's the most direct, the most primary. It's basically taking all of the altcoins and Bitcoin and comparing them and saying, well, if Bitcoin's doing this, what are altcoins doing? If altcoins are doing that, what is Bitcoin doing? So one of the definitions of alt season is Bitcoin's going up, altcoins are going up much more, or Bitcoin's going down, altcoins are not going down much, or they're going up. That is this Bitcoin dominance chart going down. So Bitcoin's less dominant. Hope that makes sense. It's not confusing. It shouldn't be. It's quite straightforward. This is a really strong indicator for alt season. So as I said in the previous video and the one before last, you're getting an impulsive move down in Bitcoin dominance. That checked back, that retested the midline of this rising wedge. Now, having tested the midline, you can break down from the channel. Now, what do we have to do? Obviously, we're going to have to come back, retest the bottom of the channel as resistance, so previous support, now new resistance, and continue down. Rising wedges, I think 70% of the time, break down. You're getting a breakdown. Bitcoin dominance is trending down. It has been trending down since this point, this double top here. So do expect a continuation of Bitcoin dominance coming down. That is why I'm saying, right, not just Bitcoin dominance, but looking at Bitcoin, looking at altcoins individually, looking at the others chart. This weekend is a great weekend. I mean, it's been pretty like, you want to pay attention to altcoins because it's close. You want to pay attention to altcoins because, higher time frame charts are suggesting that a move is likely coming soon. This is telling you really want to pay attention to altcoins this weekend because you may very well get some nice breakouts, especially once Bitcoin hits that 60K mark and starts bouncing. So that's my analysis. Hope this was helpful, useful. Like, share, and subscribe. If you got value, consider joining my crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation service where you can trade one-on-one with me. The first session is 2 hours more or less, and we go over all of your portfolio. So anything that you're trading, anything that you're looking to trade, and we identify what's high time frame bullish, what's high time frame bearish, strategies for trading, and this is all spot trading. I think I should mention that because yeah, maybe I'm assuming everybody knows I only trade spot with clients, and I think that's the best and safest way to trade when you're not an expert trader. And it's a good way to reduce risk, or to reduce risk, all while exposing yourself to market fluctuations to the upside, especially if you're seeing an alt season coming. So that's crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation. The link to sign up is the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below. I also have single asset analysis, which is a service where I provide analysis on one particular asset. It doesn't even have to be a crypto asset, but usually is. And the analysis lasts 20 to 30 minutes. I have a sample in the description, but I don't give any signals in that sample, but you could just get a taste for what kind of analysis I give. And you can see also that it's a pre-recorded session, so it's not live like crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation. You don't have continuous access to me. Obviously, after single asset analysis, if you have follow-up questions, feel free to ask them. But I'm giving you analysis in at a point in time. I'm giving you high time frame, small time frame, levels, all that stuff. Moving forward, if something changes, I would have to redo the analysis, but typically the high time frame analysis sticks, so it's quite useful in that regard. Methods or how to sign up for that is also in the description below. Last but not least, I deal with some crypto exchange partners. They're primarily leverage trading exchanges, so for absolute professional traders. And please don't waste your time complaining about getting liquidated because you misinterpreted my analysis. Especially in the past couple weeks, I've been saying Bitcoin's coming down, and it's coming down. So again, if you're trading leverage, you have to be a pro, and pros take responsibilities for whatever the outcome of their trades. I'm not doing copy trading. I don't do any leverage trading with clients, and I'm not giving any signals in these videos where I provide free Bitcoin analysis and general altcoin analysis. So I mean, if you're blaming anybody for anything, that just means you're not a pro. So be very careful. Leverage trading can be very lucrative, but it can also be extremely dangerous. So not for most people. It is a very nasty business. And that being said, the exchange partners that I'm working with, Weeks, KCEX, and Femex, they're excellent. I think they're upstanding, they're fair, and they're offering, pretty nice, lucrative bonuses through myself as an affiliate to you as new users to the platform. So if you want to take advantage of the bonuses that they offer me to you, then click on the affiliate links again for Weeks, KCEX, and Femex below. That's it for me. Have a great weekend. Bye.